Welcome to Good Works Tractors. From snow to mow, Good Works Tractors is the place to go. Shop goodworkstractors.com, subscribe to our channel below, like our Facebook page, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Well, it's time to do the leaves. I just got back from my hunting trip out there in Montana, which was cold, didn't have much luck, and had a lot of snow. It was still a good time. It was just one of those hunting trips that ended up more like a hiking trip, I guess. Not a lot of tracks or anything else, but anyway, came back and most of the leaves are down, a good chunk of them, and I kind of went around the borders, pushed them out of the landscaping already with the backpack blower, and went to the far side over there. You can see those little green trees and all around the backyard and everything else, and you know, got out of the landscaping for the most part, that kind of thing, and now I'm just going to use the X739 with the 3-bin bagger on there, and I'm going to go ahead and suck up what we can here. And I've used that in years past, works well. I've used other baggers too, and really any kind of a bagger of some kind, man, it sure beats raking up. And blowing's pretty easy too, but it's pretty windy today. Calmed down a little bit right now, but you know, if you have the right wind, it can make blowing leaves really easy, you know, if it's going the direction that you want it to go. But if it's going a different direction, then it's not as much fun to deal with. It's more of a pain in the butt. Whereas a bagger, you just drive over them, suck them up. And sometimes, you know, some areas have pretty good leaf coverage here, pretty thick, you know, like in this area here, for instance, and some other areas that are further back, closer to the trees and whatnot, where maybe you have to go over it twice, but still, it sure beats raking things up and anything else. So we're going to give it a shot here. I'm going to see if I can get Luke back there to do a little recording on me as well, and get some different angles of the X739 in action. You know, this really beats a rake, I'll tell you what. And typically you want to be out there once a week, you know, give or take, depending on your leaf drop, but not 3 weeks. That's not ideal. And so I definitely got to do 2 passes on here, and you'll see that second pass in just a little bit. But you get out there once a week or so, and it's going to be a piece of cake. You're not going to have all that little chopped up stuff that you see there. That most of that's going to clean up here in the next pass. But I have some more pickup to do. You know, I'm staring at snow right now with a bunch of leaves on top of it, and a bunch of oak leaves, and so I'm hoping the snow melts off here, and I get another couple leaf pickups in the near future. So anyway, we go back at it. Oh, one more catch. Going deep. Touchdown. All right, here we go. So you got to look at a few different spots here, and now this main chunk that's right out here, this has all been mowed that way, and then back and forth as you see the stripes here, and so this has been mowed twice, or sucked up twice, had the leaves sucked up twice, and that chunk over there kind of surrounding the football and everything has just been one pass over there, and there's a little bit lighter area where that hasn't been touched yet, and then we can kind of go over to a heavier area that's going to be over there. You can see that hasn't been done yet either, and some of it's only been done once, but kind of give you just an overview. You can see there's still some stuff that's in there, and so ideally you wouldn't wait 2 or 3 weeks once the leaves really start to fall before you get out here and start mowing. You'd still mow to pick up the leaves at least once a week. However, I was gone for 2 weeks and probably didn't mow 3 or 4 days before that, so it's been close to 3 weeks, and it's really just the time that the leaves really started to come down, and so it was a pretty thick layer that's been on there, a lot of oaks that are all falling at the same time, and so it's just a heavier initial mat here of leaves to deal with, which has made it not the perfect scenario, although it is nice and dry, so you do want it to be dry, but this is an area here that's real thick, and you can see back here just how thick it is, as they're close to the woods here where a ton of the leaves are dropping down, and then you've got trees over on the side there that are dropping down too, and so the thinnest areas are probably up there close to the house and everything that way, but when you get back here it gets really thick, and so that's okay. This machine will tackle it well, and if I need to I'll go over a third time, but this kind of thing right here look like that over there. I mean, we're talking tons and tons and tons of leaves, no coverage at all, so really even in one pass it's doing a good job, but I don't want to leave that kind of material on my lawn. I'm going to go ahead and do another pass for sure and get it cleaned up. And now over here, I just kind of blew the edges in already. I knew for one it was really thick like this, but also I had started doing that down here just because there was a lot of the landscaping and everything, and I blew all that out, and I just figured what the heck, I'd use my blower and blow that stuff in, and I just kind of kept doing that all the way around the edge. I do, landscaping here and everything else, and so I just blew all the way around that back edge there with my steel backpack blower. But we'll use the bagger on this section here too and everything else, and I'm going to finish up out here. But wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like there. Maybe I can get an overhead view too with the drone and just show you. In the middle out here, it's going to be the double pass. Around the edges there where it's pretty thin is going to be a single pass, and then it'll be pretty clear where there's been no pass done at all. So different look at the capabilities. And again, you don't want to let all these leaves drop if you can avoid it. This is, again, 2.5 to 3 weeks worth of leaves that have fallen. If you can get out there, do it once a week, it's going to do a fantastic job. Those bags, when they're full of leaves, I already dumped it out once. I'll show you back here too. Those bags of leaves are not heavy at all. I mean, it's like half the weight compared to a bag full of grass clippings, but that right there, you can kind of see the fresh pile that's on top, kind of my hand encompassing it there. That's the fresh pile of leaves from the first 3-bin bag drop. So, and I don't know, I would guess it's probably going to be 4 or 5 by the time I get the rest of this backyard done and the front yard. Maybe 3 or 4 droppings, but not too bad. So anyway, that's an X739 bagger. Now that bagger, you will see that same setup on the X5 series as well. and then also the 1 Series, you know, like the 1025s, 1023s, and something even really similar to that on the John Deere 2 Series also. So good system, great system overall, and good look at what it can do right here. So I pulled out the X739 now, and for those of you not familiar, I'll just give you a real quick rundown here of this model here. But it's a top of the line, part of the top of the line series there, the X700 series there. This is going to be the 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steer version of that series. It is a gasoline powered series as well. I think it's 25.5 horsepower Kawasaki that's in there. This one has a 60-inch AutoConnect drive over mower deck, set up right now with this 3-bin Powerflow bagger system that's on there. And so how this works is this right here, this kind of big chunk right here is called the Powerflow, and there's a belt right there that's going to be tied in. You put a double pulley, so you've just got the main pulley there that would be driving the belt spindles going that way for the drives for the each blade. You put another pulley on top of that, and you can see that belt there. It's going to spin around, so when the mower deck's engaged, it's going to also spin around and tie into the system here. And there's a blower. I don't know if it goes this way or this way, but it's basically going to be cycling around really fast, this fan with these big paddles on there, and pushing leaves all the way up through here, okay? And then you do have a little bit of, this is like a restriction indicator. Let's see what it says there, hopper full. So, you know, if this whole thing, I think, goes all the way up, it'll let you know that this thing is maxed out with the leaves in there. I kind of try to not let it get all the way that full if I can. Leaves are actually a little bit lighter, especially when they're dry and crunchy like this, but you get like leaf clippings in here if you're going to mulch your lawn, or bag your lawn all summer long, and those leaf clippings can get really heavy if it does get full. So anyway, you've got 3 individual hoppers here. Just take a look at it there, and so you can pull one of these bags out, and then you can dump it. You can see there's a handle on the bottom here. Okay, so you can just pick that up, and they just kind of fit right in these little slots there. You can take all 3 of them out. You can take one of these systems on and off yourself. However, the biggest pain in the butt is going to be this big chunk back here, so it's a pretty big awkward piece. Like that tube comes out, the bags come off, but this top plastic shell, and then you kind of see that steel frame here. You kind of got to get it into position down here, and get the bottom arms that are resting right down on that little groove there, and then the top ones are going to spring load and hold into these little brackets there. But anyway, so it's just a matter of manhandling it, and 2 people does make that part easier for sure. So anyway, but we'll get to bagging here, and this is a good way to bag all these leaves. We're, what is it, November 8th or 9th, something like that right now, and not all the leaves. There's still leaves that are up on the trees that you can see. There's still more to come down, and we're supposed to get snow in a couple days. They're calling for it on a couple different days as well. I'd love to put the blade on here, the snow blade, but I think I'm gonna suffer through that, and I'm gonna need this bagger one more time here in another week or 2, probably a couple weeks, close to Thanksgiving or around there, to do another round of bagging before I put it away and convert it over to the snow machine.